Welcome to week 5. We're wrapping up our series, Brave, by talking about how God has a plan for each one of us. By listening to God and following the plan, we can do great things together. Our big idea this week is God has a plan for my life. Our Bible verse is Esther saves her people. It's from the story of Esther, the book of Esther, chapter 8, verses 5 through 17. Now it's time for our video lesson.
Hey kids, it's our last week of this series, and we've got one more story to tell. This one's a royal story. Are you ready to hear it? Great, here's how it goes. There once was a woman named Esther, who was the queen of Persia. Now Esther wasn't born as royalty. When she was a young girl, she was kidnapped by a king and taken to his palace with hundreds of other women. The king lined up all of the women and decided Esther was his favorite. The king didn't follow God, but Esther did, and the king didn't know it. Esther was Jewish, which means she was one of God's chosen people. Soon after Esther became queen, a man named Haman devised a scheme to kill all of the Jewish people. Esther's life was in danger, and so were the lives of everyone she loved. But instead of running away or hiding, Esther decided she could do something to help her people. She went to the king and asked that her life and the lives of her people be spared. Esther chose to speak up for what she believed was right, even though it might make the king angry. The king was shocked by this news and asked who would try to hurt his queen. When Esther revealed Haman's plot to the king sent Haman away and sent out a decree that the Jewish people should be protected no matter where they lived. Esther was able to stop Haman's plan and save her people. Esther probably never dreamed she would be a hero. She was just an ordinary girl who God chose to save her people. No matter what Esther thought her life might look like, God had a plan for how he was going to use her. And just like Esther, God has a plan for your life too.
Look at our story. In our story, Queen Esther heard bad news. She found out that the king had written a law that meant that she and her Jewish friends could be hurt. Queen Esther decided to be brave. Queen Esther went to the king. If he wanted to talk to her, the king would hold out his scepter. Then Queen Esther would know she could talk to the king. Esther told the king the law was bad. She told the king the law meant that she would be hurt too. King Xerxes decided to change the law. King Xerxes wrote a new law. The king even had the new law sealed with his special ring. I'm so glad Esther was brave. Esther decided to trust God. God had a plan for Esther's life. God also has a plan for your life. Today, we get to do a fun activity. We get to make a scepter like the one the king may have used in the story. All you need for this activity is a pencil and some aluminum foil. The first thing you can do is take your pencil and your aluminum foil, and we're going to make a ball on the end of our pencil. Just like that. Then we'll take our foil and wrap it around the pencil and the ball. Ta-da! I decorated mine with some beads and glitter glue. You can decorate yours, or it's pretty cool just like it is. Next up is our memory verse.
Isaiah 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God.
That's it, guys. Will you join me in prayer as we finish? Dear God, thank you for making Esther brave. You had big plans for her to help save her people. Help us be brave. Help us follow your big plans for us. Amen. Thanks, guys. See you next week for a new series.